usual album review. I haven't done one of these for a while. Been caught up in that 1970 nostalgic kick. Anyway, this is a review of Helplessness Blues by an American band, Fleet Foxes. Came out 10 years ago now, 2011. I started doing this review a long time ago and ground to a halt. Finished it off a few months ago and now I'm going to deliver it to you. Bit of background. Fleet Foxes, an American indie folk band formed in Seattle, Washington in 2006. The band consists of Robin Pecknold on vocals and guitar, Skylar Skelsett, guitar, mandolin, backing vocals, Casey Westcott on keyboards, mandolin, backing vocals, Christian Wago is on bass and backing vocals, and Morgan Henderson on upright bass, guitar, woodwinds, violins, percussion, saxophone, you name it, he's probably playing it. Anyway, the Robin Peckfield is the singer-songwriter and the leader of the band. They released an EP in 2008, just before their debut album, self-titled Fleet Foxes. Both the EP and the album received critical praise, and reviewers noted the band's use of refined lyrics and vocal harmonies. Not my words, Wikipedia coming to the rescue. But I make no apologies, it's such a tremendous resource. Anyway, the second album came out 2011, and that's what I'm going to talk about. And in general, it sounds very assured, peppered with those ghostly harmonies and references to aging. It's also got a hint of free jazz at one point, and it's both melancholic and gives a ray of sun. And now I'm going to go through it to finish off. They certainly their harmonies have caught the attention of many who compare them to those greats of the past: Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Brian Wilson and Pete Seeger, although I wouldn't put them in a bag with those almighties just yet. Okay, as usual, track by track coming up. The album cover from an artist called Toby Leibowitz and painted by Christopher Alderson, worth noting. And this album, Helplessness Blues, was nominated as Best Folk Album at the 2012 Grammy Awards. So let's get stuck into track one then. Montezuma, a rich tapestry of harmony and choral sounds, the tale awash with history, folk-based lush harmonies and a choir-like sound. Storytelling is led by the Robin rhythm chords, and they mesh lovely with symphonic mid-sections and operatic styles on the outro. What's it about? Conception was probably a mistake, that's what it's saying, and nothing to do with true love. Montezuma, the ruler of the Aztec Empire, he was an obsessive for possessions and wanting them in his tomb after he passed. And I think Pecknold's trying to liken this to Americans who need to fight everywhere to carry out the similar activities to that Aztec ruler. Montezuma, Tripoli to protect its wealth, hoard its possessions, and we all start and end in the dirt with nothing. So material wealth is an illusion of happiness. Very strong lyrics, I would suggest. Give them a read. Bedouin dress, the acoustic guitar invites a clap beat with sumptuous violin, and the sweeping feel from the harmonies captures a Crosby, Stills, Nash inspired aspect, with the violin returning, and the strings arrangements are very eloquent. Peckman's voice drives the quicker rhythm patches, I love the picking guitar style here. And lyrically, it's about early life, utopian life, when we're a baby, selfish in nature, believe that idyllic love will capture me. But that's never, of course, attained by the time you get to old age. A punishment, maybe, for youthful self-centeredness. Interesting sort of thought, really, on the life cycle. Bin is next. 12-string guitar eases you in, and I caught a whiff of mellotron, I thought, which is thrown in with the mandolin sounds amidst many folk rhythms. The playing is quite exquisite, really. The guitars mixing the mood. Lyrically, I think it relates to a biblical tale of love. Samson and Delilah, maybe. The lock of hair symbolising the release from the power of the relationship. Simsa bin is a nonsense syllable, so called by magnetic words. It's a Danish nursery rhyme, apparently. So to track 4, Battery Kinsey. It's got a bit of a plodding rhythm, this one, on the intro. Brian Wilson's classically inspired harmonies is the influence, and it lifts this simple folk riff, very 70s, very California feel, and it drips with weary harmonies. Lyrically, I think it's about male supported financially, possibly by a prostitute, but I'm not too sure. The Plains, Bitter Dancer. This is a sort of segued together, these two. 6 minutes. The guitar creeps forward with the snare drum linking into a choral folklore arrangement. It's very choir-like, and the sounds builds with the exuberance. It's got a Far Eastern flurry of noises, and then the CSN folk rock sound emerges again with a bit of harp. Some flute signifies the bridge where a brisk vocal is delivered. It's very easy on the ear, soothing, almost drug-induced folk rock. And lyrically, I think it's a song about impending death. And then we move to the title track, a vocal solo with minimal acoustic leads to a fierce chord rhythm. And at about 3 minutes, it adds the rock elements to the basic folk structure with the arrangements, mandolins, jangly guitars. Lyrically, it's a strange tale about being ordinary and not seeing oneself as special. I read it was about a prostitute again, imprisoned in a world cold and without good feeling. But I could be wrong. Next up is the Cascades. The intro is a little reminiscent of Leonard Cohen's albums in the early 70s with the guitar melody. Very medieval, and there's a delicate guitar work throughout, and then the strings arrive once again. The mood sets it all up, and I sense we're in a European coastal town. It's an instrumental, so there's no lyric to get stuck into here. Barella, track 8's up next. Nice skipping beat with warmth on the vocals. Very uplifting, this one, and I like the flute that caresses the drums that trickle over the sound. Humming harmonies. Pretty is definitely the word you'd use to describe this. Lyrically, it's about feeling out of date after not seeing the latest kick. Feeling of worthlessness. Then we move on to 9, Someone You'd Admire. Again, acoustic guitars with vocals begins. Focus on the vocal delivery. And you can picture Graham Nash singing this one. It's exquisite, but a bit ponderous as one gets deeper into this collection of songs on the album. Lyrically, a poignant look at life's realizations and how it creates shortfalls but retains desires to be someone else. And then to the next combination, the Shine and Argument, a rolling acoustic guitar with Peckman's Nash-like vocals moves to a soaring embrace with rich harmonies, and then a bridge leads to to the second of the two, An Argument, which has a bit more strident, expansive sounds, and then the gentle folk-laden vocals with minimal instrumentation is disturbed by some avant-garde sax that sort of spits out at you. Why, I'm unsure, but it may reinforce that argument about disturbance. Lyrically, the need to retain faith in something magical, a wish, a desire, a thought about a past love, and what happened to you. Tale then, beauty, reminisces in the vocals. It's accompanied by acoustic chords that remind us of 1968, hippies, the year of love in San Francisco, and I guess Seattle. The folk is very Cohen style again. Lyrically, the mysteries of why things are as they are, the unanswered questions about the universe and about your position in it. So to track 12, the last track, Growth Ocean. It's a folk rock again, thundering bass drum this time, and the rich harmonies for the last time, and a short flurry of electric guitar that ends with an unaccompanied harmony vocal. Finally, lyrically, I think it's about the end of life, and in this dream there's a release from life's darkness, life's uncertainties, and I can move on into spirit and meet my one love enriched. So that positive way to finish then. Interesting album this. It took me a long time to even grasp the fundamentals of it. I can't say that I'm in love with it, but I can see the beauty of it. Maybe if I listen to it a little bit more, I'm sure it will grow on me. Over to you then for comments on Helplessness Blues by Fleet Foxes. And just a shout out to a few channels that I want to do. Particularly the Digital Gramophone. I've been listening to a lot of his countdown recently. It has to be said that I'm a constant listener to a new one now, Listography, where a collection of lads go through the year and choose the best from that year musically. And I also like to listen to Calico Silver, although I haven't seen him for a couple of weeks. Richard McCork, the Irish man, always very interested, and Rob, Let the Music Play. I'll put the links to those channels down in the description, along with the links to this album, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back again soon with some more 1970 genre videos. I've got to do a couple on heavy rock and reggae and other sort of styles. Bye.